Hey, thanks for joining me on a video tutorial of LastPass. This is a password manager that makes it really easy to save passwords, to sort them, to use them when you're actually surfing the internet, and it also makes it very, very easy to generate secure passwords. So I'm going to start at the very beginning, but we'll go kind of quick through the installation process. So if you already know what you're doing here, don't get too bored. So you're going to pick the operating system, download it, and then what you're going to do is run it. So what I'm going to do is actually log out of my actual LastPass account so that I can show you what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and hit next. I have both of these installed, Chrome and Explorer. If you had Firefox installed, it would offer to add to that one as well. I'm going to go ahead and say I want to specify advanced options. So everything here looks good. I don't need a desktop shortcut or a quick launch icon, so I'm going to uncheck those and go ahead and hit next. It tells me that it has to close my browser because it's going to actually install a plugin in my browser. So I already have this plugin installed, so you're not going to see exactly what happens, but what would happen is on your computer, when you open your browser back up, you would see a message that says that you have to enable the plugin. So I'm going to say I don't have a LastPass account. Let's go ahead and create one. And I'll use, I'm starting to run out of email addresses because I've run through this a couple times now. So I'm going to go ahead and use this email address. And then for my LastPass password, so this has got to be a really good password, because if you use a weak password here, it defeats the whole purpose of having a password management tool, because all it does is makes it easy for somebody to get into all of your passwords. So you want to use a really good password. Typically what I would recommend is something that's multiple words. It could be a line of a song, or a line out of a book, or a line from a poem, or a quote from a movie, something that you're just going to remember. I'm going to make one up. I'm going to say, this is my pretend password. And then for the reminder, I'll say, what did you just type? Well, I typed a pretend password. Okay, so I understand that my encrypted data is going to be sent. I've already read these. You should read these. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Okay, now it's telling me I have to type that password again, and it says here in huge red letters, right, don't forget it. So this is my pretend password. Then I'll go ahead and hit save. Okay, so I'm going to say done, and if you notice, it tells you a browser window is going to open, that you're going to have to finish installing the extensions. Like I said, mine is already installed. I've already done it. But if you hadn't, it would pop up and say, you need to enable this. So Swami of Success. And then you need to use that same password. Same long, strong password, hopefully, that you just made. Now you can, this I believe by default is checked, this show vault after login, but if it isn't, you can shut it off. It just depends how you want to use it. So you'll kind of see what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and say login. And now what you can see is my LastPass icon up here is red. That means it's active and ready to go. If it's got a message for me, it will turn gold, and when I'm logged out, it's gray or black. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to a website. I'm going to use CNN, and I'm going to say sign up for an account. So I'm going to type in some craziness here. This is a big account. Let's see if they'll let me use that. This is fake. And then I'll go ahead and type in an email address here. And then what this little thing is, if you can see that, it's a little refresh icon around a padlock. That means that I can use LastPass to generate a secure password. So what I can do is click on that, and it brings up this window. And then I even have more options. So if I open this up, what you can see is I have all these other options. I can say it has to have capital letters, it has to have small letters, it has to have numbers. And this is good because some websites require you to have different things. So you can come in here and pick, right? If you were on a website that said you have to have 2 numbers, all right, well, I'll come in here and change it to 2 numbers. And then hit the refresh button, and it generates a new password that has 2 numbers in it. So I could have special characters, right? All of this stuff is totally customizable. So I'm going to go ahead and say use that password. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to try and type in this CAPTCHA code, which is ridiculous. I do not want to receive offers, and I'm going to say sign up. I entered an invalid, oh, somebody must already have this account. Let's make up something else. Oops. How about that? So we'll go ahead and make that, and I'll say sign up. Make it oh, I made it too long. Ha! I made the account. All right, so I can change this back. This is fake. And I made it too long. So this is a perfect example. Make it 6 to 10 characters. So no spaces, 6 to 10 characters. So I'll change this down to 10. I'll hit refresh. Here's a password that I can use. I'll say use it. And I'll go ahead and click sign up. The screen name is already taken. Let's go back to this. WWEN4. Go ahead and hit sign up. This screen name. How do you suppose somebody already took that screen name? Okay, let's try that one. 2DGDG. Let's try this. Sign up. Boy, I think I picked a bad website as an example here. This is a little more complicated. And it's not even the password part, it's just the website. CNN, you need to get your act together. This is tough. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try one more time. Hey, there we go. All right. So now you can see I'm logged in as N. So I'm going to go ahead and log out. Okay. So now, and I mean, I could go to a different website just to show you that we're logged out. So now we'll go back to CNN. And what you see up here is I've got this little, I'm going to go ahead and click login. And now I've got this right here, these two different icons. So that's because I just made two different passwords. So this is a good example of something I didn't intend to show you. So what I've got here is I've got these two different passwords for the same site. And what I can do is I could try one of them and see if it works. I can't remember which email address I used. So what's going to happen is, let's see. Okay, so I got it right on the first try. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here, and it was this password. So I'm going to say, I'm going to edit it. It is CNN.com. I'm going to just call it CNN. I could put it in a group if I want, so I can make a group called News. I'm going to go ahead and type in my username. So some websites this will be automatically filled out, some it won't, and you'll have to actually type it in. And in most cases, the username is not so ridiculous, and it's something that you'll be able to remember. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in, paste it in there. I could put some notes in here if I want. I could set it to auto login, which means every time I go to this site, it will automatically log me in, and I don't have to do anything. I use that a lot for specific sites. And then you can also set a site as a favorite. And what that means is if you set a site as a favorite, you can go in and open all your favorites at once. So if there's like 5 or 6 websites that you use every day, set them as favorites. You go in, you tell it to open all your favorites, and bam, it opens them all up, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Okay. So now if I go up here to my LastPass icon, I'll show you the vault. So I'm going to open my vault, and you can see that I have a password in here in the group called News, which is this password that we just made. I also have this, which is junk, that I don't need. That's the password for the username that didn't exist. And you can always see what you've recently used. So if you're looking for a specific password, you can find it up there. So if you come up here and go to form fill profiles, this will actually help you a lot as well. You can go in and set up a new form fill. So what this does is it allows you to create one. For instance, I'll create one called Dan, and then I could go through and enter in all my personal information, my credit card, my bank account, and I can store all this information so that when I get to a website, I can just let LastPass fill it all in for me. And it's usually about 95% of the time it works. Occasionally it doesn't, just like you saw with that CNN site. Occasionally it does not work the way you expect it to. But for the most part it does. So the other thing that you can do is you can search. So if I wanted to find my password for CNN, I can type in CNN and it shows me all the CNN passwords. Okay, so it's really easy to use. I picked a bad site to use as an example, but you can see that it's really easy to use, and it doesn't really get in your way. So that part is very nice. So let's try one more site. I wish I could think of something that was really easy to just go in and create an account. What about eBay? So let's register for an eBay account. So you can see again, right here, I click that button, it generates a password. I say use it. Everything's in there. I'm going to go ahead and say submit. Now right here, this is what should have happened. It says, should LastPass remember this password? I could say not now. I could say never if I don't want to remember it. Or I could say save site. And when I save site, it takes me into this page. Now, you and I both know that this URL, it should really just be ebay.com. So I'm going to go ahead and change that, because that's the site that I'm going to be using. For a group, I could call it shopping, or I could just leave it. I don't have to put a group in here. I could just leave it the way it is. If you want to see what your password is, you could click on this icon over here and it will show you what your password is. So if you need to copy and paste it at some point, you can. Again, I can make it a favorite. I could auto log in. I'm just going to go ahead and save. Okay, so now I have, oh, they've selected a username for me. That's fun. Okay, so now I have my eBay account set up. So what's pretty cool, well, another thing that's pretty cool is if I need to change my password. So I come in here and let's say that I want to change my password, right? So I go in and I say edit this password. First, of course, I have to type in the current password, which is right there. So I hit sign in. And now I have to change it. So I'm going to go ahead and, if you see, I've got the little star here that tells me that one means I have one site that matches this. So there are some sites in my real LastPass account that I have, 15 different logins for, because some of them are mine, some are customers, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the site that the password that's currently in there, and then I'm going to change it. So I'm going to generate a new password. Okay, so this is another site that doesn't necessarily work with the password generation tool. There we go. I'm going to say use this password. It puts it in both boxes. And now it says a new password has been generated. Do I want to use it now for this site? And I can say yes, use this new password, which will replace my old password. Or I could say no, this is a new entry, but it is for this site. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes. I'm going to submit it. And then what just happened here is if I log out and then I go to log back in, it automatically fills in my information because I've got LastPass running. I can uncheck that box and I can sign right in. So that's kind of how LastPass works in a nutshell. It's really easy. It's really fast. There's not a lot of complicated moving parts in it. My mom uses it. She loves it. It's a really easy way for you to store your passwords and to use secure passwords. So the little bit of inconvenience that you might have once in a while is certainly much better than the inconvenience of a lost bank account password or a lost social media account password. So that's my video on how to use LastPass. Thanks, and I look forward to you being on more of my videos.